joined us online. It's the technological access which has made people sitting far off in different parts of the world. Lucknow is facing acute cold season this year, unlike previous years. For the last 20 years, mid-February should have been a little warmer. After 14th of January, it's normally warmer, but we are having pretty chilly winds, and this morning also it was quite cloudy. I hope people sitting in their comfortable zones all across the world. Professor I.V. Singh has been a legend, undoubtedly. Of all the students that have been produced by this department, Vibhuti Singh Sahab happens to be one of the leading, I would say a leader in sense of different aspects of societal as well as a professor, as a student, as a researcher, and as a mentor to many of us. He has set different level of excellence, not only in the field of geology or sedimentology, but in my personal experience I can very well share with you that almost in every field of geology he had extreme knowledge. Many of you may be aware or may not be that he did his PhD on hard rocks, on metamorphic rocks in European region. Despite that, he started working in the field of sedimentology, and at the very initial level, after doing his PhD from Germany, he started working on the recent sedimentary environments, and along with Professor H.E. Reineck at Senckenberg Institute, he was able to produce a book, Depositional Sedimentary Environment, which became a textbook for all the students of the sedimentology and all across the globe. That book was translated into Chinese. The same book was published by Russians in Russian language. And perhaps that's the only book I know in geology that has been translated in at least these two languages. The aura of Professor I.V. Singh, I would certainly like to mention, was something which was very different than most of the scientists we have, because he left a mark by way of his original thinking. His presence wherever he used to be was always felt, because he was the one who used to question what has been published, who used to question what has been published even in the books, which was very amazing, because as a student of geology we always thought that what has been published is the silver line or the gold line. He used to say, always get back to the original reference, because many a times people refer which is not there in the text of the reference they are quoting. And almost, I think, in any field of geology where he has worked, he was able to point out the deficiency that was there in the publications, and through that he used to visualize the concepts which were absolutely mind-boggling. No one would have thought about those. I am really happy that I happen to be one of his students, the first student who could complete his PhD when he was a lecturer in this department. And staying with him, I not only learned the tenets of sedimentology, I'm still a student of geology and sedimentology. But many things I could see, I could live with whatever he has been doing, seeing him from a distance, seeing his papers, studying, reading those texts, I was able to learn many things which were normally not possible for us. Not only me, almost 20 students were able to complete their PhD under him in different facets of sedimentology and geology. And in a span of almost, let's say, about 40 years that he had spent in this department, he has been a visiting professor at Louisiana State University in United States of America. He has been visiting Europe very regularly. And his students, who are now spread all across the globe, they are themselves proven that staying with Professor I.V. Singh had made a difference in their life. Today, it's 1 year since we lost him. He fought a battle for almost 3 years, having some problem with his breathing system. But after even staying in almost 2 to 3 months in ICU, he simply said that I don't want to stay in this closed hall. If you want to let me live, just take me back to my home. And that was amazing. And he recovered. And he used to get in touch with all of us. We used to visit him, and he always was smiling. And even with a very bad health at the end of his life, he was able to convince us that we must work on. So those inspirations are going to live forever. Such legends, they are never gone. They always leave a tradition. They leave a concept for originality. They are the one who are the leading light for the generations. I think there must have been about 50 students who have joined him for PhD and stayed with him for some time. And all of them, they have been doing very well, because very small things he used to be observant, and he used to tell us. I remember while traveling for field work in a couple of times when there was no reservation, मैंने उनसे कहा सर रिजर्वेशन कंफर्म नहीं हो रहा है, तो उन्होंने कहा भाई बर्थ नहीं तो अर्थ से चलेंगे, और वो कंबल एक दो कंबल हम लोग लेके जाते थे, जमीन पे बिछा करके साथ साथ बैठे बैठे चले जाते थे. That was the simplicity of Professor I.V. Singh. I am happy that I welcome Mrs. Janak Singh, who has just joined us, and on behalf of this department family, we are now going to formally start the program. I would request Professor Ajay Mishra, head of the Department of Geology, to please come over the DS. Thank you.